Hello, I'm Richard Raffan. In this video you're going to see how I break up some blackwood acacia. I've got a couple of lumps here which I was given this morning, or in fact in the end I traded for it, and it looks like very nice stuff. So this is half a log, and looks pretty good from that side, but when I turn it around I can see it's got this big split. So I've got two options here. I can run a saw down the middle. I'm no longer strong enough to lift something like this onto the bandsaw, so I'm going to have to deal with it on the ground. And I'm going to try wedging it first, and if that doesn't work, then I'll just put a saw through the other end, and I think these will split quite nicely, and then I'll be able to handle them quite all right. And this piece is nearly 800 long, which is 30 inches for those who don't understand metric. Now, and I should end up there with kind of 5-inch bowls down there, so that's about 130 millimeters diameter, and the same on the other side. So that will get split, so I can handle the separate bits. On this side, very similar size. This is a crotch from the blackwood, and so I've got about 26 inches there, 600 mil, 700 mil, somewhere around there, and slightly longer up here. Now the main features here, which you might instantly see, are the crotch figure, which looks very nice, but just below the crotch, or where the crotch is, there's also a split there, and probably all the way down, and that's definitely a split. A little bit bark intrusion there. There is some high quilting there, which looks very nice indeed. And little split up here, but otherwise that looks pretty good. When I turn it around, this doesn't look quite so good. Now there's a pith there, and that comes out up here, which I hope you can see. Yep, so the pith comes out there. It goes down at that angle, so I can expect not to get very much out of these areas here. Be much smaller stuff, possibly end grain stuff. But if this is that's the top of the bowl, I'm not sure that figure will go all the way through because I can't see it on the other side down here. So that's going to be a bit of a gamble. I might well end up with a fairly shallow dish there. But the main thing here really is to break this down the middle, because I can see a bit of a split developing there. So I would say that there's bark most of the way down through that. If there isn't, then that's my bad judgment, but I think that's probably what's going to happen. And I'll just go down that with a chainsaw. The first cut went slightly astray, so I'm going to come down on this line. Oh, so this I can now handle. I can lift that up onto the bandsaw, so that's good for the initial breakdown. I regard that as a good decision. So this is all bark intrusion. This is wide enough. It's 80 millimeters. It'll cut a clear 75 mil or 3 inches, and thick. So I could think of bowls going in that way, small bowls, cutting that up. So if I can't get anything out the other way, I will be able to get little small bowls. Coming further back up the log, it looks quite nice. You can see I don't get too much out of the end here. That will rather depend on what happens a little bit further in. But that's a reasonably good start. Now, time to look at the other log and try and split that. So I've lost my big wedges, but I have a couple of thin ones which I hope will get through. That's moved a little bit up here. You might be wondering why the small hammer. It's because I'm attached to a microphone and I'm too lazy to detach it and go and look for a heavier hammer. So that's detached. Supposed to be nailed in. Still all very full, so I will attack the other end with the chainsaw. That is very tightly held somewhere on the other side. Success! So that's stage one, and this I can cut with the chainsaw when I come to cut blanks. So here that's really just mud and stuff which has got into the crotch over the years, and that will yield small bowls. But for the moment, that's fine because the main tension is taken out of the log, and it can distort a little bit if it wants to. But I can't see it cracking too much more at the moment. So the next job will be to get it on this face and cut this face at right angles to that one, so I can start to think in terms of cutting boards. And the same, that will go on the bandsaw table and cut a piece up there. So fortunately this was a bit lighter than I was expecting at this stage. I can see a little bit of figure down here, which is good, but the aim now is to cut all this away, and I'm hoping there's going to be enough thickness in there to get some salad servers or something like that. Now I could push it through this way, but I'd rather have the log my side of the blade when I go round to pull it through the other side. So that's going through this way. I don't need most of this bark either, so that can come off now. And the same with this side. Now this blade could do with sharpening, is wandering off a little bit, but basically I've got two sides more or less at right angles to the face it's sitting on, and I've got this one here, so I'm happy to let that dry out now. It was sealed on the ends before it came to me, so that's good, and I'm quite happy to sit on that now for a few weeks, but the sooner I can get at it, really, the better, because I can then rough it out and with the expectation of being able to get some finished pieces off it in the reasonably near future. This is fairly stable stuff, so it won't need to dry for quite so long, so that's good. Now the bits here, let's just see if there is anything in here. All bark. Really not enough here to do anything with. So this is a day later. I've changed the blade here. This is now a 20mm blade, 3/4 of an inch, as opposed to the 1/2 inch which I had yesterday. So I hope this will cut a straighter line. And the aim is to get rid of this slot. My options now are to cut it down. If I'm looking at bowls and stuff like that, on this face I have 5 inches, 125mm, and I can think in terms of getting nice little bowls out of that. Maybe not there, there's a split. But I've certainly got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down there. I could also have the top of my bowls on this face, deeper forms, and it's very tempting now just to slice this 4.5, 1200mm wide piece, just put it into 2 boards, and then I'm going to be turning smaller bowls. But if I do that, then I lose the opportunity to do vase shapes, which would be much kind of deeper pieces. So just stays like that for the moment. I have 2 flitches here, bits off the side, and if I can get anything out of that I will, because I hate to waste material. So cut away the bits which definitely won't make anything. Don't think I'm going to get very much out of this. Cut away the bark. Spatula. That'll be fine for the moment. This is yesterday's offcut. There's a split there. Make that square. Very thin. Big split. Still the split. Not worth it, I don't think. So here the grain curls around, and I wanted as straight as possible. This is a bit straighter, curly at the end, so and from here. Now in here I should be able to get a nice little short stirrer, so at least I got 3 spatula blanks from the real rubbish, the offcuts, the firewood if you like, and the sale of those would pretty well pay for the whole block of wood had I bought it. These will now go into a shady spot out of the wind. I don't mind a bit of a draft, but they should finish to about 75 mil, 3 inches in height. And I've got varying bowls out of this lot from 200, which is 8 inches, out to about what looks like 10, about 250 should finish there, maybe 9 inches. The square, lot of waste still in there, but when I look at this face, yeah, I'm not quite sure what will happen there, but it's quite nice and clean down here, so the chances are this is going to get cut down the middle. Each of these will feature in their own videos to how I cut them down, or I might combine a couple of them. Same again here, very nice board, and that's got a bit of figure in it. And it looks pretty good on the other side as well, so it'd be nice for bowls. And these will probably make little bowls as well, although I could keep it in larger pieces, rough them out into boxes or big storage pots. Still, very nice result out of those logs. I nearly forgot to mention the 3 spatulas. They might get made fairly quickly. They'll be in their own video as well. Terrific.